Welcome to Borderline Furniture. I'm Mara, and this is project number 48 for the Christmas in July Thrift Flip Challenge hosted by the Flippin Bunch. For this challenge, 3 items are thrifted with a max budget of $25. I found these mirrors at my local Habitat for Humanity for $10 each, and they're very retro. The smaller picture frame was purchased at my local thrift store for $3.99, so I'm just under budget. The back of this picture frame has a warning that says ages 14 and up and not a toy. So I'll keep that in mind as I move forward, and I want to start with the steampunk Santa. This decoupage paper was purchased at dazzling, and I'm going to transform the picture frame mat to a steampunk look. I started with a rough sketch directly on the picture frame mat and then placed the shapes on my draft. I may be jumping ahead a little bit here, so let me take you through the process step by step. To prep the surface, I sprayed the mat with clear poly to prevent it from soaking up too much moisture when applying the drywall compound. I designed a sheet metal grate stencil using my silhouette cutter and applied the drywall compound to bring out the dimensional effect. The silhouette cutter was also used to cut the gears and the panel pieces, which was actually recycled cardboard from my 2024 desk calendar. Now I'm speeding up the assembly to show you how it all comes together. As I wrapped up this project, I wanted to include some of the finishing details. The small metal gears and clock components were sourced from Amazon. I also used adhesive half pearls from Hobby Lobby as rivets. For the copper metallic accents, I used gemstone mousse from Dixie Belle. Unfortunately, I can't recommend it. Despite being tightly sealed and only used once before, it had dried out and turned green around the edges. Luckily, I was able to scrape enough off the bottom to finish this project. After I was done with the mat, I took everything down to Hobby Lobby and had the image dry mounted. Just a few more pictures of steampunk Santa before we move to the next project. This mirror reminded me of a gate on a horse stall, which means perfect. First step here is to remove the back, and then after that, take the mirror out. Next up is a thorough cleaning, and then I scuff sanded and did a gel stain, which is not shown. 1 sprayer of mosquito repellent for me, and 1 can of shellac for this frame. Since I'm planning to decoupage an image to this panel, I started by prepping the surface with white Magnolia Home Chalk paint that I picked up at Habitat for Humanity for only $5. The image, like all the other ones featured in this video, came from Zazzle.com. I originally intended to blend the edges onto the background, but the horse image was so beautifully detailed that I didn't want to lose any of its definition. 24 hours after applying the decoupage, I came back and sealed it with polyacrylic. The barn wood came from my scrap pile, in my trailer, which was headed to the dump, and I scored a great deal on the horseshoe hangers during Amazon Prime Day. I purchased the mat at Hobby Lobby to complement it. And finally, it was time to assemble this image in its frame. The panel with the picture was stapled in, and the wood pieces were attached with hardware. I added 2 metal brackets to the back for more support. And the wood panel piece was held in place by these 3 screws. Now that everything's come together, let's take a look at this mirror makeover. The weathered barn wood and those aesthetic horseshoe hangers give this frame a real horse stall charm. I love how the horse image paired with the mat pulls the whole piece together. It's got that perfect rustic elegance. You could easily use this as a coat or a hat rack, but at our house, it's the perfect hanger for holding bomber stockings with style. The end of the second project, and now it's time for the third and final project. Honestly, I might have picked up the ugliest mirror Habitat for Humanity, but hey, if I could transform this, I knew I could tackle anything. After popping out the back and giving the mirror frame a good cleaning, I jumped to my favorite step, scuff sanding. Once that was done, I hit the frame with Rust-Oleum spray primer. While the primer dried, I got to work cutting out the rustic trim piece for the top. I was fresh out of barnwood, so I grabbed some weathered shiplap from Lowe's. It came with beveled edges, so I ran it through my table saw to get a clean, straight edge. Then I decoupaged the last image from Zazzle onto the wood panel. Yep, you know what's coming. I had to blend those edges, so we're going to speed right through this part. To speed the process right along, I decided to spray this with bare chalk paint instead of getting out my sprayer. After the paint dried, I sealed everything with polyacrylic. Then came assembly. I stapled the back in place and secured the coat hangers with screws and locking hardware. And luckily, I had a 5-pack of robe hooks that fit just right. That horsehead hook, I found it on Amazon during Amazon Prime days, and I couldn't resist. Here we are, wrapping up the third and final project in the Christmas in July Flip Challenge. I was able to seamlessly blend the edges of the decoupage paper right into the image's background, giving a polished, cohesive feel. That rustic shiplap added just the right touch of weathered charm, and the horse head hanger fit perfectly into the empty space at the top of the old mirror frame. The whole piece came together with a mix of rustic warmth and clean, modern edges. The hangers were ideal for those real leather bomber stockings too, which are currently available on Etsy. From two outdated mirrors turned rustic showstoppers to a picture frame now rocking full-on steampunk vibes, this summer challenge was a blast. Thanks for joining me on this creative sleigh ride, and don't forget to check out the playlist and share your favorite flip in the comments. Until next time, keep flippin' creating, and remember, Christmas magic isn't just for December. And as always, thanks for watching.